Shabbat Shalom. There's a Jewish adage that comes from a certain holiday and a certain ritual that we do during that holiday. I'll begin it. Let's see if anyone can complete it. Or maybe I'll say it and you can tell me what is that holiday and what's the ritual. It happened at midnight. What's the holiday and what is the ritual? Passover, very good. And what is the ritual? The Passover Seder. And what happened at midnight? The angel of death passed over our homes at midnight. Okay, what else happened at midnight? Hillary? So the angel will pass over us at midnight, but likely we think we painted before midnight, so then at midnight that would happen. Okay. What else happened at midnight? The Passover Seder ended, and what happened? What happens when the Seder's over back in the original Seder in Egypt? Went to bed? Seth? The Exodus. We left. Inspired from this week's Torah portion. For chapter 16, we read we read in the Torah portion, observe the month of Aviv and offer a Passover sacrifice to the Lord your God, for it was in the month of Aviv when at night that the Lord your God freed you from Egypt. So my question is, what do we learn from the choice of time of being freed, the Exodus happening, the events that were just shared happening at night? How does that frame how we understand being free or Exodus? Marge.
Well, you can think of it in terms of if you have to do something that's not going to be very well accepted, do it during the dark.
Oh man, I was hoping we'd take a little bit of time to get to that answer. But yeah, something that might not be so popular, right? You do it at night. We're probably familiar with the idea that you sneak out in the middle of the night, right, to escape and to move forward. Yeah, yes. Okay, thank you. Traditionally, one of the answers that's given is, when do the Jewish people begin our day? At sundown, at sunset. So our day begins at night. And what could we learn from that if we are leaving at the beginning part of the new day? What does that say about us and God and the Exodus? Mark? It's a fresh start. Excellent. What else?
I think that there's faith. I mean, that it was really dark, and the whole time they were guided by the fire, after they left, on the Hananei Kavod. And here, they didn't have street lights and little phones with flashlights on them.
Sure.
And they're all going at the same time. It's midnight. Now we go.
Sure. The nighttime highlights faith that the people of Israel carried. Wonderful. Excellent.
The rabbis were very, in the Talmud, looking back, they were kind of afraid of the night. There were demons and all kinds of other stuff.
By the way, not just the rabbis, but the entire world, right? Before the onset of electricity, nighttime was a scary time. And it was precisely during this scary time that we leave. Mark.
It's also that you're organizing, the Jews Hebrews are organizing to leave at the very same time that the Egyptians are in chaos. You got that paradox.
Yes, tell me about that chaos, Mark.
The chaos is all the firstborn were just killed at the very time that the Jews were told it's time to leave.
Yes, there is incredible violence and destruction going on, not just to the Egyptian soldiers, but to the firstborn males of the Egyptians. If you are just and you're just to highlight the chaos and to juxtapose the sounds. Imagine sounds of jubilee for the Hebrews and absolute crying, shrieking of the deaths that are unfolding, all taking place at night. Diana.
Well, another thing too is that it's a full moon then. So
Okay.
it wasn't like pitch black. Like
Sure.
they did have the light of the moon, and they were also, because of this whole thing with the Korban Pesach, they kind of like, you had to like register. It was like an Evite, like all the people you were going to be with. So they were in like these almost pods
Mhm.
where they were busy, eating stuff, and they couldn't leave it until morning, and all the other rules that come with the Korban Pesach. So it wasn't like pure chaos. Like it wasn't like one person, and then like there was this nice light.
For the Jewish people, there clearly was not chaos. And I think the moon, which is symbolic of the Jewish people, I think it can be very illustrative of our experience. You've got one light moon in a dark night sky, and that's us during this moment of Exodus, amongst a lot of darkness that the Egyptians are experiencing, both physically and emotionally. Every time we see that the Exodus takes place at night, we should read in all of those narratives. The Torah could have said in chapter 16 and verse 1 that the Exodus happened, but it specifically highlights in this week's Torah portion, it happened at not midnight, but I'll go with the middle of the night. Tom.
My thought is that when we start something new, we start it in darkness because it's unknown. There's a certain, we talked about faith before, but we have to start new things without knowing where we're going yet, and the light has to sort of appear over time. And we could say that not literally, but even figuratively for a long period of time, right? The whole Exodus started in sort of sort of darkness, and then we had to come into the light.
So the night highlights the unknown, the faith that we carried during our moment of Exodus. Excellent, really good. Okay, so we're all on the same page that the Exodus took place at night, but Houston, we have a problem. If you turn to Numbers chapter 33, verse 3, on page 954. Vayis'u me Ramses. They left Ramses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month. It was Yom Lachodesh Harishon Mimacharat HaPesach. Yatsu B'nai Israel B'yad Ramah Le'nei Kol Mitzrayim. On that day, B'nai Israel left Egypt with an outstretched arm in view of all of the Egyptians. Chapter 33, verse 3 says, instead of leaving in the middle of the night, when do we leave? In the morning, in the day. A time when we can be seen, minimally. So, what is the message of this Exodus story? What is the message of being brought out of Egypt during the day? Hillary.
Go out and the Egyptians were there, and there's this strong people with all these arms, and
We're brave, right? We're right in front of all the Egyptians. Here we go. We are not sneaking out. We're proud. We're confident. Out we go. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Anyone else? Yeah, Michal.
Differing a little bit in the sense that the Egyptians were still in the morning and they weren't organized. So part of maybe leaving at night is part of getting out of there quickly, but also you could be defiant because the Egyptians hadn't gotten organized to pursue you yet, so you kind of had a little head start.
Okay, so during their chaos, they're still in chaos after the night in the upcoming day. So therefore, there's a lot of people. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Anyone else? So which is it? Oh, Hillary, yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking that, okay, if they decided to leave at midnight, they had to get somewhat organized, so they wouldn't be leaving till morning.
Yes.
And the Egyptians saw them and were going to follow them, but they couldn't follow them right away because they had to get organized.
So we had a head start. And we're also still the Jewish people, and it still takes us time to go from point A to point B. Anyone who's a part of Jewish communal work knows that it's no small feat to move people, and the same is true in that time. But we had a head start. Yes.
Well, not to be like the spoiler here, but
Are you going to quote the Talmud?
yeah.
Barachot 9a?
Yeah, is that okay?
I was about to, but before you go to the spoiler,
I'll let you do it. Go for it.
I'll give you the chance, but I want to give everyone else a chance to answer their own before we tell what the rabbis say, okay? Yes. Michal.
Well, Gamza and Gamza, like, they both happen just like every other Jewish thing. This happened with some people, and this other thing happened with other people, and they're both true.
We're going to get to Gamza v'Gamza. 1 second, okay? Before we do so, ask yourself, where are you? Do you think the Exodus took place at night? Or did the Exodus take place for you by day? And why? Which story? Are you a Numbers fan by day or Deuteronomy at night? Because, by the way, the rabbis are sitting with the same question that I just posed. We can't just be like, oh, it's always been that way. No, the rabbis are trying to, was it at night and at day? So what is it for you? Marge?
Is it possible some people left at night and other people went to leave during the night and just leave during the day? I'm not scared.
Oh, I like that. Some people, the insomniacs, they left at night, right? And those who were like asleep, they left during the day. A nice compromise, and I think your answer highlights your empathy for human beings of different sleep habits and different travel paths. Some people are ready to move. Some people take their time packing. Okay, good. What are you, day or night, Tom?
Well, I'm thinking that transitional periods are always really important too, right? When day turns to night, night turns to day. So I'm thinking that maybe it begins right before night transitions to day, maybe completes by the time that started. So that the transition of light kind of is that period. So you could really maybe say it either way. I mean, either way could be right.
So both are referring to dawn. Is that what you're saying, Tom?
More or less, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Hillary?
I'm thinking that the first accounting is the one that really is the truth. And when Moses is retelling it, he has a lesson to teach.
Okay.
First of all, everybody has a different perspective on what happened, and how you remember things is a little different
Yeah.
than another person.
Yes.
So for him, it all happened in the middle of the night,
Hmm.
but the reality is it happened, the actual leave taking happened in the morning, but all the stuff he had to organize happened in the night. Plus, he wanted to have the lesson of, you were brave, you left during the dark, and we have a lot ahead of us, so,
I like that. It's a great perspective. What Hillary's sharing is two answers. One is, actually, both come from the perspective of Moses. It is Moses' idea in Deuteronomy, this week's Torah portion, to capture the story by saying, we left at night. Why? Because Moses, the leaders, are doing the organizing, and at night, his exodus began. The second is he wants to instill in the people of Israel the bravery that they showed when they are telling this story. Good. Yes?
Maybe it's a question of faith and where people are too, right? Like, so the people are like, it's time, they leave at night, and then, some other people are like, is this really happening? What's going to happen to the people who left early? Okay, maybe it's time for me to go too, this is really happening. Because even after, the sea splits and everything
Yes.
on the other side,
Yes.
there's still a matter of faith and belief and fear of God and all of these things. So this is evolving in real time.
Yes, I love it. Great answer, which is the two times of day when describing the Exodus, describe two type of ways of carrying faith. To those who believe the Exodus happened at night, believe we had such faith. We were so ready. God said, go, we left. The morning was like, wait a second. We just went through 400 years of slavery. Multiple times, Pharaoh has said, get out of here, and then changed his mind. We're going to be careful. We're going to be cautious. We'll call this the more rational approach. And when you think about which narrative really speaks to you, where are you on that? Are you like, oh my God, it's time to move, it's time to go, I got to stand up for my people, my Judaism, I've got to go? Or are you like, let's sort of see how things sort of play out, right? And then I'm gonna make my move. Yes, Michal.
I'm an early bird, but despite that, I would have gone at night because I don't want to see what I'm leaving, and I don't want to be scared by other people or other things. In the darkness, you can just go. But if you have animals, and they took animals with them and stuff, you cannot take your animals at night. You probably
Yeah.
really need to wait till they can see and they feel comfortable.
Yeah. You're hinting a little bit in your first answer, something really advantageous about nighttime, which is when we do some things at night, we don't have to worry how we look. We don't have to explain ourselves. We just go. But when I'm going in the day, I'm going to be seen, and I have to now be ready to be displayed in my full self and ready to justify, the choice that I'm making and stand for the choice that I'm about to make. Okay, I just hope everyone gets a little bit of a flavor of like the tension here of what does it mean to leave Egypt at night versus at day. Now let's see, how do the rabbis sit with this? Diane, I promised you, please, brachot, tet aleph. Do you have it in front of you? I'll be impressed. Okay.
Prepare for this part, but the rabbis also teach that only 20% actually left. The other 80% stayed behind. So I think the big question is, are you part of the 20% or are you part of the 80% that's just going to kind of let everything pass you by while other people are going out and taking a chance? And I think when we look at innovations and we look at major things that have happened, and even adoption of different things. I look at October 7th, and I know a lot of people in a lot of different areas of life that are Jewish that aren't practicing, and I think I can see this whole 80-20 thing, this divide. So, and that's what I think about a lot. You're part of the 80 or the 20, more than are you a morning person or a night person?
Sure, I think this is a deeper conversation than are you a morning or night person, 100%. And I think I want to now give some ways of understanding the idea of leaving at night versus leaving during the day. But first, let's look at how the rabbis took this. And the rabbis, if you didn't get my earlier hints, or that of Diana's or Michal, the rabbis say the following. They say the Exodus began at night and completed and ended during the day, so that both were parts of the Exodus. That you could read that as they started to leave Egypt at night and they finished in the day. You could read that as at the moment that the firstborn were murdered, that was a sign, okay, that we're done. The Exodus is beginning. And it completed when we physically left Egypt. Rabbis hold both. And in holding both, they're highlighting two different aspects of what does it mean to go through an Exodus journey, what does it mean to move forward, what does it mean to go through the process of redemption. The first is that there is hiddenness, happens at night, and then there's also clarity. There is a process that is opaque. There's innocent lives that are being affected. There's a messiness, there's a chaos, and then there is clear transparency. We do not hide from the fact that we were slaves in Egypt, and now we are a free people. This is the birth story of our people. In a few moments, later in the service, we're going to proclaim the new month. The new month is based off of our monthly cycle is based off of the narrative of us becoming a free people from Egypt. We don't hide from that story at all. And thirdly, hinted at by Rav Kook, the night represents the inner journey we went through, and the day represents the outer journey. Meaning, to become free, we can't only see ourselves as being worthy of freedom, but we also have to be present in this world and be seen as a free people. And the rabbis, it seems like they're making a big compromise. Oh, we got to make the Torah portion, the Torah work out, fairly, so every verse of the Torah can be true. But I think they are hinting at a deeper complexity, which is stories of freedom, stories of redemption, stories of standing up for what is right are never simple stories, but they embrace two parts that I've spoken about, described by something that begins at night and includes the day. And yes, Diane, I'm glad you made a jump into this day and age, because for me, I often find myself struggling to follow what the rabbis are hinting at, which is to see these journeys as involving darkness and light. I sort of want to just hold on to one. We'll just say in the face of anti-Semitism. Oftentimes I find myself being like, look, we as a Jewish people have to do what we need to do because the enemy is so great and so strong, and therefore I don't need to proudly defend all the choices that I make or the Jewish people make because the enemy is that great. And therefore, even in the middle of the night, we need to do what we need to do. Or I find myself holding on to the day analogy. I cannot do anything wrong. Everything that we do as a people, that I stand for as a Jewish leader, is right and perfect. I am infallible in the face of anti-Semitism because, again, that enemy, that challenge is so great. But the truth is, we live in a world that is imperfect, and the elements of night and day are very true for us as well as we deal with the many challenges that we deal with as Jewish people, especially standing up to anti-Semitism. But you can fill in the other challenges that we face as well. And if you're like me, and you sort of struggle to try to hold on to both, I offer you a very easy ritual that most likely everyone does in this room when you celebrate Passover, but perhaps we don't realize the audacity that is engaged in that ritual when we do it. On the night that we proudly celebrate our freedom as a people against tyranny, when we stand up for the fact that slavery is wrong, that we have a right to express ourselves as a people, we pause for one strange moment and we dip our fingers in the wine and we pour out each drop on our plate. And in that moment, we are to be listening to the cries of the firstborn children who are killed, or their parents who are holding them and dealing with their personal tragedy. And that sense of empathy does not invalidate the sacred cause that we were on. It just means that we carry that with us as we move forward on our moral and just journey to freedom and to tomorrow. So with that, I encourage everyone to see both aspects of the Exodus story, and to do so both with strength, hope, and humility. Shabbat Shalom.